beyond these stats, beyond this MOI that tells us that the high floor is happening, beyond understanding that real estate isn't really a cycle as much as a repetitive pattern of growth, is other data points, GC, that we talk about a lot on the show. And that is the idea that the correlation between a thriving downtown and a city's revitalization.
Yeah, so if we understand the premise here that you almost kind of know the answers to the test as far as how much are your assets going to appreciate over a full market cycle. Question should be, is there anything that can bend that curve upwards?
Yep.
Is there anything that can take that from, call it that 4.8% or 5% growth rate and make that 5.2 or 5.5? Because if that's the case, then you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional return on investment for you. And there is something that can bend that curve. We know it to be true because it's happened a few times now across the country. And that thing that you're looking for is which downtowns have revitalized. Looking at the data, revitalized downtowns appreciate 27% more. They've appreciated 27% more than the overall US since 2013. And I've looked at Denver, Austin, Nashville, and Tampa, all downtowns that have become revitalized. And this is home values, again, since 2013. So we know there's something there. And when you have a change agent like that, that can bend the curve. And that is why this is such a special moment in Jacksonville's history and in your growth as an investor, because we stand on the precipice of downtown Jacksonville becoming revitalized.
This is one of the big reasons why our 120-person 2-day summit sold out in like a blink of an eye.
Absolutely.
It's because people want to come see this, right? We've talked for a long time about the idea that 10,000 residents in an urban core is the critical mass it needs for the flywheel to start like spinning on its own. You no longer need incentives from the city. All of a sudden, Whole Foods wants to be the corner tenant on a mixed-use high-rise with a parking garage, and stuff gets real easy for the average real estate developer out there, even in the short-term window. And what we've been seeing is this idea that downtown Jacksonville was hovering somewhere around like 3,000 to 4,800 for a really, really long time. And from like 2017 till now, it's been on this like rapid ascending growth, and this eclipsing of the 10,000 person milestone is on the horizon, right? Like it is meant to happen in the next year.
100%. And so we have just gone from the macro. We understand that revitalized downtowns are what you need to look at if you want to bend the curve upward in your trajectory. Now we can look into the leading indicators. And so this resident population is a leading indicator that they looked at in Tampa. They looked at it in Nashville. They looked at it in Austin and Denver. And what we came to understand by going to these cities is that when you cross that threshold of 10,000 residents, the numbers start to pencil for developers. And when numbers start to pencil for developers, that means they can make money without city incentives. That's when all these bars, restaurants, amenities, Whole Foods start to come in. And that's when quality of life gets better. And that's when rents and home prices go up in the neighborhoods, those single family rental property neighborhoods. Home prices and rents go up at a very high trajectory because of what's going on downtown.
You say that because at the end of the day, JWB's population of homes are all single-family workforce housing homes within 15 minutes drive of the urban core where all this stuff is happening.
Exactly.
Right? So this idea that, is this a good time to buy if we're going to land this home? Like, right, buy or sell, what part of the real estate cycle are we in? What I'm learning is not very different from what, Denny's got his own takeaway. He's putting in the chat, today's takeaway, buy today in Jax, get JWB to manage your rental property portfolio, and you will be a happy camper in 2034. Take it all from an investor who's been with JWB since 2012 and seen a full market cycle. Awesome.
Man, Denny, thank you so much, Denny. It's incredible to know and to be able to speak with somebody like Denny who has walked miles and miles and miles in your shoes if you're a newer investor, and has been through the ups and the downs of owning rental properties and has seen the other side, and he's lived what we preach on this show. And for all of you who are coming to the summit, Denny's going to be here. Yeah. So I know he's going to be one of the most popular men at the summit. Yeah, of course.
But that being said, so that's Denny's take. At the end of the day, I think how I would phrase it is the idea that what part of the real estate buying cycle are we in, buy or sell? The first thing that I think we learned today is the word cycle is problematic because it makes you think of buying a dip. There generally is no dip in real estate. It is a recurring pattern of growth with one minor exception that happened in like generational that we don't see on the horizon for us right now. So we see a continuing pattern of growth. And if you look at that and you believe that real estate for you, it's time to buy. If you zoom in and you look at the numbers of what is happening when it comes to months of inventory, which has been one of the key indicators that we have had access to here on the show that have allowed us to make contrary opinions that have been right a couple of times over the last really weird things that have happened. Months of inventory show that the months of inventory are below historical averages, which correlates with higher than average home price appreciation. And then on top of that, you're looking at a city in Jacksonville, right, that is on the precipice of an urban core turning on. We're not the only ones saying this. The Urban Land Institute has called Jacksonville a future supernova city, which it's only given that designation to like the other cities that we just compared here, the Charlottes and the Austins and the Denvers of the world. I don't know if those are the exact cities that are supernova.
I don't know.
But the cities that you would go back and be like, oh man, I wish I bought real estate there 10 years ago.
Yes.
That's been doing it. And what we see by the numbers, by the insider data that we have, is that Jacksonville is on the precipice of a downtown turning on, which again will lead to higher than average home price appreciation for the foreseeable future. So if you came here to ask us our opinion of where we are in the cycle, buy or sell, it's what you see.
Bye, baby.
It's buy. All right, cool.